We're live. We're live. Well, yeah, we're there. Let me cut everyone. I'm live now, bitches. Get on it. Hashtag no homo. Booyah! Booyah, there we go. Let me just...
I don't care about Reshiram.
Okay. No, we gotta get rid of that. Let's see, Creator Studio. Gotta go to live streaming. Gotta go to live streaming. Where are we? There we are. And then last but most certainly, not least, we are gonna, we need some mellow tunage in the background, a little bit of noise for your brain noggin. If I can find it.
On today's video, we're gonna take a tour of a house I built actually 4 years ago. And if you've been on my channel for a long time, you remember this as the perfect wall house. But if you're new to my channel, let me tell you what's so different and so special about this house. Well, first of all, when you look at the outside, very iconic shape. You know, not built traditionally with overhangs. It kind of looks like a big Monopoly piece. It's all wrapped in metal, and we've got some really cool awnings, kind of a modern farmhouse style. Big kudos to the architect, Rouser Design on this house. But as you go inside, the house looks especially different and especially striking. The first thing you're gonna notice when you first walk in the door on this house is that there's no insulation. You've got these bare studs showing and this beautiful shiplap. Now, Chip and Joanna may have popularized this, but this house was built long before they were popular. What you're seeing here is actually the studs. This is the framing, the structure on the house. We've got no drywall and we've got no insulation. How does this meet code? How did I build this 4 years ago? What we've got here is no inside insulation, meaning insulation in between the studs. Instead, we've got outsulation. This house has a thick blanket of rigid insulation all the way around the house and a thick blanket of it on the roof. This was a concept first designed by this guy named Joe Stiebrick. He's a
Yo, what's going on?
Mace?
What
Nice
is...
to see you streaming again.
Oh, of course. I said I'd be back. So I do have a whole lot of shit to do tonight. So try to...
Alright.
Might only be about an hour and a half tonight. But here I am,
Alright.
as always.
Alright.
What do you got for me?
Alright, you know, ever since yesterday about that, what were we talking about?
That super gay homo shit?
Yeah, that and, I forgot. The New World Order, right?
Oh,
Ever since we were
that,
talking
yeah.
about that, yeah, I've been thinking about, conspiracy theories, right? Okay.
Oh, fuck. Where's
What do
Fenmore at?
What are your thoughts on, Pizzagate? You know what that is?
Yeah, give me a second. Alright, yeah. I did my own digging on Pizzagate a while back, but it has been a while. So let me just do a quick Google search to just make sure I got all the bases covered on it.
Okay. What's up, Mace?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? What's going on? What's Gucci with it?
Oh, so today I went to the gym again, all right? And I
Cool.
tried what you told me, like with doing the cardio along
Yeah.
with lifting weights.
Yeah.
It worked out pretty well.
Yeah, you feel good? Get the blood flowing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, that's not my professional advice. That's just my life advice. Having, you know, that's basically what we did in the Army. You always start out with cardio before you do anything else. It helps acclimate the body. You do stretches, right?
A few.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you don't really... The thing is, they always made us do more than was really necessary. But, you know, if you know, hey, I'm going to be doing some arms today, let me do some stretches just to kind of... And that all kind of goes back to the whole prepping your body, because when you're working out, it's a very positive thing. You're building your body up, but what people forget is the process of working out, the process of running, lifting weights, all these things. You're essentially damaging your body. The whole purpose is to do as much damage to your body as possible. And this is where your muscles come in. It's like, fuck, man, that was crazy. We need to bulk up. We need to get better. So the individual muscle fibers, they're damaged. You do the whole nutrition thing on top of it, and then it gets, it's like the individual cells know, okay, I need to bulk up for next time. This is like, that's why you plateau. That's why people get to the point where they baseline. Your muscles have like, okay, so we're taking it this far, okay. And it's more than just do more, because you don't want to damage it too much. When you plateau is a very good thing. It's like, okay, I've hit this position. My body is responding in a way where it's like, okay, so this is like the level that we're at right now. How can we push this further, but without damaging it in a way that we're going to like tear a piece of cartilage or something like that. There's all these different things that you have to do to kind of prep your body to get up to the next level. So that's what I'm excited that I'm so glad that you came on to tell me that. Hitting a plateau is hard because getting past it and going up to the next level, that's where the real challenge is. So I totally want to hear progress on that in the coming months.
Yeah, I'll update.
Yeah. Anyway, I ramble and rant, but yeah, that's good, dude. I'm glad my sage wisdom has worked out for you.
Yeah, I'll have to keep doing that when I go to the gym.
Okay, Pizzagate, real quick.
Alright.
So first Google search that came up, just to get a baseline for it, it already said this was debunked, but a lot of people are going to counter that sentiment, so I'm going to ignore that one piece of it. Pizzagate is a conspiracy theory that went viral during the 2016 presidential election. The conspiracy theory has been extensively discredited into whatever, who cares. Personal email to the restaurant. Yeah, that's the baseline for it. And so what is my opinion? Okay, so I'm a little bit more right-leaning, okay? I'm a Trump voter.
Wait, hold on. Did your stream just go down? Or is that just from... Alright, never mind. It's
Oh, yeah, so it went down.
It did?
It's back up. No, it's back up.
Oh, it's fucking weird. Alright, so here's my take on it, right? So just for full transparency, I'm more of a middleman, okay? Somewhat of a libertarian. I do lean right. I'm a Trump voter. But at the same time, though, I do acknowledge certain racial inequalities and like in the world. I'm not an SJW or anything. Like I said, I'm a middleman. First and foremost, I like to try to keep myself in the middle. There's bad shit on the right, there's bad shit on the left. Try to keep myself centered. So when it comes to this whole thing, and they want to specify that it's on the Democrats, it just is what it is. They could say the same thing about the right, and I'm going to have the same opinion either way. Given said that, my opinion on the whole Pizzagate thing, obviously I'm very skeptical I'm super skeptical of the government. But at the same time, I'm very skeptical of when you have why can't I speak? Allegations, right? Allegations, the proof is in the pudding, right? You need to have some kind of tangible evidence for something like this. So, but my personal opinion is, like, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that this is, like, a real fucking thing. Now, currently it says, oh, it's been debunked, right?
All
right. Well, it says it's been debunked. All right, whatever. Okay. Where's the proof that it's been debunked? Let me see that. Okay. At the same note, it's like the emails that were given, there's a lot of speculation. So because everything is all speculatory, it's like turns into this whole he said, she said shit. And for me, my number one thing is everyone kind of has their social weakness. Like, there's that one injustice in the world that you really can't turn a blind eye to. And mine has always been kids. Anything involving children, it gets me right in the ticker, Yeah. So that alone kind of fuels the fact that, like, just hearing about something like this makes me really fucking pissed off. So to kind of connect with it, here's the thing that the reason why I find that there's some validity to the Pizzagate thing. Jared fucking Fogle. And here's why. Here's what. Now, this is where, because I'm a middleman, not just politically, but like an
Wait, Jared Fogle is the Subway guy, right?
The Subway guy that molested a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
Yes, him.
Okay.
Mimpa, welcome. Yo, what's Gucci with it? Welcome back to the program. So here's the thing with Jared Fogle that really fucking pissed me off. And I understand why this happened. I understand it. Doesn't mean I agree with it.
Okay.
So, Jared Fogle, he did what he did for fucking years. It was years that he was molesting children. It was years that he was in touch with people, and he was able to kind of like have his, like a kid in a candy store, like, oh, I want this kid or I want that kid. Like, there was exchanges that were made. There was people that were being talked to, money being exchanged, all this crazy shit. And it happened for years. The part that disgusts me in and of itself. But what disgusts me even more is that the federal government fucking knew about it. Not only did they know about it, but they encouraged the entire event to take place. Here's what happens when it comes to law enforcement. When you get someone like this, right, Jared Fogle, right, he's a kid diddler, you know, you want to not just get the guy at the bottom. You want to get everyone connected.
Yeah.
I get it, right? The same thing with drugs. You get the guy that's selling weed or selling fucking dime bags of coke on the street, right?
Mm.
You want to get the next guy out. You're gonna go lax on that guy. You're gonna run a case on that guy. You're gonna have some undercover people involved, this, that, and the other. You know, you're gonna have like wires hidden up in you and doing interviews and shit. It makes sense. You build a case because eventually, a year, 2, 3 years down the line, you're gonna get up to the supplier. That's the plan. I understand that facet of it, right?
Mm.
But drugs are very different, right? If someone wants to buy drugs, that's a personal choice for what they're going to do with themselves, okay?
Mm.
I can kind of let it slide for people buying, like, I'm not cool with people using heroin or anything like that. However, I think if someone wants to go buy heroin, fuck it, let them do it. If someone wants to go diddle a kid, that person needs to be chemically castrated. Total different facet of thinking and understanding. So, law enforcement, the fucking FBI was building a fucking case on this guy. I understand that you got to build a case, but the fact that they knew that he was actively doing this to children, they knew that he was a threat, that he was a predator, and they let it continue on. They let him continue for 4 fucking years. They let him continue doing what he was fucking doing, knowing that children were being harmed in the process of this. We need to build a case. That's our justification. We're going to let him keep doing it. And here's the thing, though. It's one thing to say we didn't have enough evidence. It took us 4 years to get hardcore evidence. That's one thing. There's fucking tapes going back to 6 months after the whole thing started. So 3.5 years later, then you decide to fucking go for an arrest and then prosecute and all that shit. That's what I find fucking disgusting. The federal government has involvement in that. It went on for 4 fucking years. And they just kind of ran with it. That's fucking disgusting, okay? So the whole thing, when it comes looping all the way back to Pizzagate, definitely can believe that there's a high level of validity to that. Because if something like that can happen, which is a lot smaller of a scale, tip of the iceberg, all right? There's so much going on underneath that we don't even know about. A little bit comes to light, and they want to squash it the first chance that they get. So, of course, like they want to go out and say it's been debunked. Anyway, continue.
Okay, hold on. Hold up. Alright, what just happened? Like, I missed the last 10 seconds.
Oh, Jared Fogle's a fucking piece of shit. The federal government...
Yeah, I heard that
all
part.
that
Let it happen. Alright.
Yeah, so that's my assumption when it comes down to Pizzagate. It's like, that's the prime example of the federal government knowing about shit, hiding shit, letting shit go, and then at a later date reconvening. Pizzagate's obviously a little bit different, but
yeah.
Okay.
You ever heard of the Denver airport conspiracy?
Oh fuck. You know what? I've heard of it. I don't know much about it because fucking Themmore's brought it up, but I don't think he's ever actually had to sit down with it.
It's like some kind of like underground bunker or something under the airport, and like the high people go there and do stuff. I forgot. I read a little bit about it yesterday. But let me, since a few days ago it was September 11th, what are your, you have any thoughts on the whole conspiracy around, like, the government doing 9/11?
Oh, God. Okay. So when it comes to conspiracy theories, I don't really jump in them. I think that for the most part, a lot of them are kind of, they do stretch quite extensively. So a lot of it I kind of ignore. 9/11 is one of those things that it hits me in the ticker. It's another one of those things. It's one of these. The problem that I have with the conspiracy theories of 9/11 is that a lot of these conspiracy theories are fueled in such a way to where they dismiss all the actual real life deaths that occurred because of this event. Okay, so. And I've had conversations with Themor about it, and I do disagree with a lot of the stuff. I listen to what he says, though, because he's a very intelligent guy. He's the one conspiracy theorist where a lot of the conspiracies that he believes in, he's skeptical about. So he does his own research. For example, he loves the flat Earth thing, right? But he questions the whole flat Earth thing because that flat Earth community, they don't base any of their arguments on any kind of tangible science or testable evidence. That's why I like talking with Themor, because a lot of the stuff that he does has some sort of validity to it. So if he's going to make an argument, it's going to have some form of tangibleness to it. So when talking about 9/11, the thing that for me, it's like we obviously know it happened. It was like a worldly event. The whole world stood still that day. It was this massive event, this great undertaking that happened. Crazy amounts of harm happened in multiple different places, and thousands of people died because of it. So, and pretty much everyone in the world will say, yes, 9/11 was an event that happened, we were around for it, and we felt it, okay? These things actually happened. So dismissing that fact, that's something that can't be done. You cannot dismiss the actuality of the day happening.
Yeah.
But then they want to go into the whole government thing, and here's the thing with me. This goes one of two ways. Either one, our government is so completely fucked, which I will say yes to. I will definitely say yes to. But they're so fucked in trying to control the masses that they would stage something like this. That's some pretty dark shit, okay? Or, and this is the one that I side on more, our government is so fucking intelligent, these old decrepit fucks. I mean, half of fucking Congress are walking in that motherfucker with walkers with the tennis balls on the bottom of these ancient fucking fossils that have been fucking. They're the incumbent party. Of course, they're gonna get voted in. You got fucking congressmen, you know, two-year term, but they're every fucking year and a half they're doing their re-elections, and it's like, I'm going down to the senior citizen center in my hometown to collect votes, and they're going to get on the ticket anyway. They're going to get thrown up. These motherfuckers need fucking term limits, okay? I don't need some fucking raggedy-ass fucking ancient motherfuckers that don't comprehend modern-day technology to kind of make decisions that affect the masses of the United States that are under the age of 50 that utilize technology on a daily basis. This is the government that we're talking about here. And you think that they're so witty and intelligent and smart that they can craft something like this? It's beyond me. I think America as a country, we're fucking great. We're fucking badass, right? But the people that are running our country, come on, dude. These guys couldn't fucking figure out a fucking one of those old Nextel brick fucking phones, okay? These guys are so beyond comprehending technology. It's beyond me for them to fucking come up with this fucking Jason Bourne level fucking conspiracy bullshit and fabricate it in such a way for an event like that had to happen like synchronized. And then on top of it, you have to hire people to stage this shit for you. That's another thing that gets me. Alright, so the government's gonna fucking do this crazy shit, blow up these buildings, but they were controlled detonations. Okay, so you want controlled detonations that happen inside the building. A building that fucking thousands of people work in, right? So you want to get a demo crew up there late at fucking night to put these demo charges there. Are those people, how many people you got to hire to do this? Well, with a building that big, let's say two towers, whatnot, let's say it takes them, I don't know, like a full day's worth of work, 8 hours to do this shit. Let's say you have 30 fucking people setting up charges, getting all the debt stuff. You have it all controlled by one guy. 30 fucking people. They're not going to say something. 10 fucking people. They're not going to say something. You take one motherfucker. That must be one sick motherfucker that's willing to fucking be able to do all this shit. But for that person to go up there and do this stuff in a realistic time frame, and not only that, you have to hide everything. Mm-hmm. You have to hide the fucking shit. Like, all right, so the Twin Towers, the fucking walls are they're pretty easy to bust through, right? But you have to hide deck cord. You have to remove some of the Durarock from the plasterboard from the fucking wall. Get to the steel beams, put fucking det cord on these steel beams, and then patch that fucker back up and move on to the next one. It's just like when you really try to verbalize it and break it down, it's just fucking crazy. It's like the same thing when it comes to chemtrails. I've had this discussion before, right? Government's putting chemicals in the air that turn the fucking frogs gay, and that's for chemtrails, right? All right, so they're putting fucking chemicals in the sky that make our dicks small. Well, how do they do that? Well, they put the chemicals in and they mix it in with the airplane, and there's these little dischargers, those streams that you
like
see.
the white lines.
Yeah, it's called condensation, my friends. Learn the fucking science, okay? Thank you very much. No, what this shit happens is, it's like, no, they say that there's a special device, or it's integrated with the fucking, the jet propulsion system to make these streaks in the sky that have these chemicals in them. And I'm like, wait, so you're telling me that there's an entire industry that manufactures these very specific chemicals that have these traits that when they're sprung out into the atmosphere, which is pretty high fucking up, and you could take something like the fucking Tokyo nerve gas, right? That shit that happened years ago. That nerve gas, if you could take this soda can filled with that shit, right? A high condensation of this stuff, right? And if you were to disperse of it in the atmosphere as high up as a fucking Boeing 747 flies, and you were to disperse it up in the atmosphere up there, by the time it made its way down here, it would be so fucking diluted in the atmosphere, it wouldn't even fucking matter, dude.
Yeah.
So that's basically my opinion on the 11. I gotta go help the fake wife real quick. I'll be right back, so keep chatting.
Alright.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Ugh.
Hey man, I had a question, alright?
Hit me.
Okay, so before you left, you said something about a fake wife. What does that mean?
Oh, all right. It's a running gag on the show. So the fake wife is my longtime girlfriend, mother of one of my sons.
Oh.
Sorry, I ran up the stairs. So no, she's this girl. I've known her for years. We've been friends for years. We started dating when I got out of the military, and second time we dated back when I was in high school. But anyway, no, we call her fake wife because it's like a running joke. Like I would marry this girl in a heartbeat, but she wouldn't marry me because she loves me, but I'm kind of an asshole. So
Okay, I just didn't know.
No, the joke is we call her fake wife.
And then you said you're in the military. What branch?
I was in the Army from 2008 until 2014.
That's a long time.
Not really, it flew by.
Well, that's good.
Star-Lord, gross what? Oh, fucking hashtag Vape Nation, dude. You gotta choke on that robot dick, you feel me? Active, man. With none of that nasty girl shit. Army? What? Whoa. You think the Army was gross? Here's the thing that got me when I was in the Army, right? The Air Force, man. Nothing against them. I mean, I think all the branches are fine and dandy, right? But I can still talk shit on them. So the Air Force, when I was in fucking Afghanistan, there was hardened buildings. There were some old Russian buildings that we would stay in, but for the most part, we stayed in these tents, right? So it depended on your job placement and your rank, depending on where you live. So most of us lived in fucking tents, out in Tent City. And the Air Force people that were there, because they had to be on an Army base, like an Army FOB. Alright, so the Air Force, when they had to come to our FOB and stay with us for like 6 months, because that's how long their deployment was 6 fucking months. Oh my god, it's so long. It's like, dude, you're on a vacation, essentially. Shut the fuck up. So when they would come over, they got an extra, like, what, $350 a month just for living on our FOB with us. What the fuck, dude? And the rationale that they told us, it's like, well, it's substandardized living, as what we're accustomed to. Well, what are you accustomed to? We have running water, we have showers and shit, and it's like, I know, but there's, it's like your showers aren't it's in an entire fucking trailer that has showers in it. No, we need to have our own room with our own kitchen, with our own fucking bathroom, with their own, like, all this shit. Like, they had these specifications for what they deemed to be appropriate for them. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. You want to call yourself a fucking real man, but you can't sleep under the stars on top of some gravel? Get the fuck out of here, dude. And even their promotions work different too. All of their promotions are based upon, like, how book smart you are, which, don't get me wrong, I think the Army should implement something like that, because we get some NCOs that are dumb as fuck, okay? So I think that's something from the Air Force that we can learn from. However, book smarts don't mean a goddamn thing, okay? I've met some fucking NCOs from the Air Force that they as well are complete idiots. Smart motherfuckers, but they have no social skills, okay? Most people in the Air Force that I've met, they're like the fuck boys of the military. I'm not gonna lie, they're decent looking. They have a lot of free time, so they fucking work out. I've never met a fat person in the Air Force. I will definitely say that. Met some fat fucks in the Army, some fat fucks. Well, actually, Air Force and the Marine Corps. Never seen fat people. But the Navy, the fucking Army, and the fucking Coast Guard, I've seen some fat motherfuckers, dude. So I will give you that. Some of our PT standards aren't up to yours as well. And that comes back to the weight and tape thing. So going back to this whole discussion about working out, in the military, I was lanky, okay? But I had, like, love handles. Like, I've always had love handles. And that's, like, one of the hardest things for years I've tried to get rid of. Like, I've lost so much weight. Like, it's so weird. My waist dropped 2 inches this past year, right, from a 38 to a 36. However, if I wear a 36, it doesn't fit right on me because of the fucking love handles. So I had to go get these fucking stretchy pants that they're a 36, but they give you a little bit more wiggle room just to pull them up a little bit. But because of my love handles when I was in, I was a lanky fuck. I was cut, not cut, but I was nice and toned, right? I had not a six-pack, but I had abs. You know, I was in good shape. But because of my fucking love handles, dude, I was like, what, 180 pounds, and they still said that I was overweight for my height, and that was because of my fucking love handles. So they would do the weigh and tape with my fucking neck and stuff, and they would justify it. So the weigh and tape is fucked up. You can be fat as fuck in the Army, but if you have a skinny neck, then you're good to go. It's so weird, and it would really fuck over guys that had like 2% body fat. So we get these guys that they go to the gym, they're fucking jacked like a fucking 1995 Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, these guys are just fucking like just on it, right? Like, they're swole as fuck. But these guys would get fucked in the weigh and tape because, like, oh, well, you're overweight for your height, even though we know it's muscle mass. But hey, it says that you're overweight according to our fucking chart. Let's do the tape on you. They would do the tape, and then that would fuck them over because they got these big ass necks. You know, the whole fucking thing is fucked, man. It's so archaic and stupid. So I'll tip my hat to the Air Force in that your weigh and tape for your PT standards are far superior to the archaic practices of the Army using a fucking slide rule and some fucking ancient calculations. So what else has been spinning around in your brain noggin?
Do you have any good stories from when you were in the Army?
Oh my god. Let's see. Oh, I got one. Are you watching the stream right now?
Yeah, I have it on.
Okay, so you see this right here. This
Oh,
tattoo.
it's a little behind. Behind.
It's fine. You'll
But-
see it on the stream. You see this tattoo. It says drop zone. Okay, I got
That's coming up.
a story about that tattoo.
Here, let's see. It's about to come up.
That tattoo has some
Yeah, I see
tails to it. So check this out. That tattoo.
Mhm.
I'll tell you the less incriminating story first. Okay.
Okay.
So when we got back from deployment, the idea was for the group of us that deployed together, like it was like 4 or 5 of us that were really close. We decided the quote was not matching tattoos, but the same tattoo. And we would get it on a different part of our body. And the idea was to get the word drop zone tattooed in our body. And so my dumbass, when the main guy that came up with the idea, he showed me on his forearm drop zone, I was like, okay, cool. So I got the same tattoo with the same font and the same color. I just got mine bigger. Out of all of us, I got the biggest and the baddest because, you know, go big or go home, right? It hurt like a fucking bitch. Hurt on the love handle and hurt on the bottom rib cage. So the D and the Z hurt the most, but the rest of it was okay. I got that done. So I got bitched at for the longest time that me and this guy that I deployed with, we have matching fucking tattoos. So hashtag no homo, but also hashtag man love Thursday. So here's the thing though, that's the less incriminating part of the story. The incriminating part of the story is the reason why we got the fucking, why we got them, right? So when we were deployed, there was we did these things called drug deals. Okay, that's what we called them internally. It wasn't really like drug deals. So we lived on a plateau, right? Condu's was up on a plateau, and there was like 6 other FOBs around us. You had the Special Forces had a FOB. I think DARPA or the DoD, they had a weapons testing facility on the FOB. There was all these different places, and one of them was the Germans. The Germans had an artillery base up there. So the Germans, they got different food than we did. So I was a cook, right? So what we would do is like, oh, well, we got like T-bone steaks, and you know, you guys got this badass schnitzel and these Red Bulls and all. Like, they had all this crazy shit. So what we would do is we would trade like lobster tails, T-bone steaks, and they would give us like fresh baked pretzels and schnitzels and like all kinds of weird shit I can't pronounce, and they would give us fucking like badass gummy bears. They would give us fucking Red Bulls, and they would give us all this shit. And then we found out that the Germans had alcohol on their base because we weren't allowed to drink on ours. So one of the things that we would do is we would trade some stuff. We get a few bottles of vodka. So we had some vodka with us, and one of the things that we would trade with on the fob, being a cook, you have a lot of leverage. We have cases and cases of soda, cranberry juice, orange, like we have cases of all kinds of drinks imaginable. So if we needed like, hey, we're gonna be gearing up to go out with we have a place that we're going to. We're gonna have a convoy. There's a certain group of people that we want to bring with us because those are the people that we feel most comfortable to have on the convoy with us. So we would go to these companies in our battalion. We would go to the platoon that we wanted to be with us, and we'd be like, hey, you guys want to come here? We roll out in like 3 weeks from now is our scheduled date to go drop supplies. We want you guys to come with us. You guys are going out like every single day for the next 3 weeks. So we'll gear you up with cold ass sodas and all this stuff. So when you're out and about, you at least have some comfort. So we would do these little kinds of trades and stuff. And then they would be really cool. Like they would offer to like help us maintain our weapons, which we never bothered with. We always, like, our platoon sergeant had it drilled into us that the weapon's an extension of you, no one ever touches it. But they would do anything that they could, like, hey, do you need this, do you need that, whatever, right? We traded some stuff to the SF guys before, and the cooks, they gave us fucking Tempur-Pedic pillow toppers for our fucking mattresses. So we're sleeping in these tents just like everybody else, but on top of our beds, we had these nice fucking memory foam pads. Like, it's just what we did. Like, we exchanged stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the things that ended up happening was some of us would... this is where Drop Zone comes in. It's not the fucking best time in my life, but I might have... I never got drunk or anything, but I definitely drank some vodka while I was deployed, which you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to drink or anything like that. And then I tried we crushed up sleeping meds and snorted them. That was interesting. It's like so weird, like looking back at like, God, I was so stupid when I was a kid. Because you think about it, like thank God nothing happened. But we used to get mortared and stuff. But fortunately, those nights nothing happened. But like to think like I crushed up snorting medication and snorted it. How fucking stupid was I? So not only did I just actually do that shit, I have a fucking reminder branded to the side of my body because of it. And the only reason why I can openly talk about it is because I'm so far removed from the military that it's kind of like, whatever. On that note, my last duty station was Korea. And there was this NCO I had that was the equivalent of human garbage. I hated this guy. And without going into a long, extensive story on him, just know he was a piece of shit. And he was a control freak. Like, he loved, like trying to get in people's heads and manipulate them and all this shit, right?
Okay.
And that's why I say he's a human piece of trash. I've met bad NCOs. He's just a horrible human being. So one of his things, like when I was about to leave, because I got divorced while I was enlisted, I remember my last day, he was like, oh, Montgomery, because I was dating a girl that worked there too. And
okay.
He knew that me and her were dating. And so he got real upset when I was about to leave. So he was like doing everything he could to try to get me like in trouble, so it forced me to stay. So on my last day, I went in to go say goodbye, and he's like, "Oh, I need you to bring in your divorce decree." And I'm like, "Why? I was divorced like 2 years ago." And he's like, "Oh, I need to see it, man." It's like, excuse me, I just found out that you were married at some point. I just need to make sure that you're divorced. I don't want you getting in trouble because you're dating bulls or whatever. And I'm like, fine, fuck it. I bring in my divorce decree. I show him this fat stack of paperwork. And I'm like, Garrett, that's yours. You can keep it. Do whatever you want with it. I have like 1 million copies of them. I got a couple of them that are framed. It's really fucking nice. You can have it. And that one's for you. And he's like looking at it. And he's like, well, I'm from Maryland. And this is from California. So I don't even know what I'm looking at here. And I'm like, this is where I signed. That's where she signed. That's where the judge signed. And that's the date that's effective. And he's like, yeah, I don't recognize it. We're going to probably have to have you stay and investigate this because you know, we can't have you cheating on your wife like that. That's against the Army values. And I'm like, she's not my wife. We're not married. She's my bitch ex-wife. They got pregnant while I was deployed, which is why she's not my wife. Okay? So, and I was like, I looked at him, I was like, all right, sorry, you go and get on that, okay? I got a flight to catch. So I just left. So what happened was, it was a weird time of year. It was around the holidays at the end of, I left in January of 2014. And so during the holidays, everything was super busy. So when you're clearing, when you clear post, you have to get your room checked out, make sure everything's clean and all that stuff. So what ended up happening was the NCO, Sergeant Bills, he never came down to check my room. And the reason why is because everyone was just so busy, he didn't have time to go down. So he was like, all right, fine, you know, is your room clean? And I was like, absolutely. Fuck no, it wasn't. But I cleaned it. I didn't like, they want you to GI it. They want you to like buff the floors and do all this fuck, like they want you to basically make it look better than it could ever physically possibly look, because the place that we went to begin with was fucking garbage. They had like mold growing on the walls and shit. So it was just bad. So I cleaned it to the best that I could to where it was livable and then left. Here's the thing though. I lived on the 4th floor, the top floor of our barracks, and it was a corner room, great view, and me and my roommate Chambers, this black dude, we were like real tight with like a lot of people. And so we would throw like crazy parties, and our room was called the penthouse. So we would like have like crazy beer pong and like just loud ass music. We'd be smoking cigarettes and shit, which you're not supposed to do inside. Like we didn't give a fuck, man. We just fucking partied, man. Like we turned that top floor into a club. And in our room, the penthouse was like the central suite of it all. So I had forgotten that what we did was when we would smoke cigarettes, we would ash it out in like a Pepsi can, and then we would hide the Pepsi can, right? Spray some Febreze, call it a day. Well, flash forward like 2 weeks later, right? I'm in Seattle, Washington. I'm staying at my mom's house, waiting for my household goods to show up from Korea, and then I'm gonna get my own place. Like I'm just transitioning, you know. I'm staying with family until I get all my shit together. So what happens is, I get a call from my girlfriend, who's still over there at the time, and she's like, "Yeah, Sergeant Morris wants to talk to you." And I'm like, "Why?" And she's like, "Well, some things happened, and you know he's really upset, and all of us are in trouble." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So he gives me the phone. Turns out that my room, when it was taken over, there was an NCO that was supposed to take that spot. When he went in there and they did a room inspection to make sure the room was good for him, it wasn't, because they found like a whole bunch of cigarette cans, like Coke cans filled with cigarettes. And it was bad because the person that was inspecting the room with this NCO, they were also higher up as well. So normally, instead of having an E6 look at this, it was like a fucking master sergeant or some shit, because they were like, it was just how it was. So when he found out, he told battalion, and then it went up to headquarters, and then, oh my god, they put a strict curfew down on everyone. They pulled everyone out of their rooms. They did a health and welfare of every single barracks on post. Like, it was fucking bad. All because of these fucking like, this is how fucking crazy these motherfuckers are about this shit. Like, that's why I'm so glad they're fucking out, because I gotta deal with that shit no more. But it was nuts. And everyone's life was crazy. And then because I was a cook, everyone that was working at the DFAC, they all had to work ADA. And it's like, well, we're in trouble because fucking someone that's not even in the military anymore has to fucking deal with this shit. Like, he did this fucked up shit, so we have to deal with it now. So what ended up happening was I talked to Sergeant Morris, and he's like, Montgomery, you know, I got a counseling statement recommending you for a field grade Article 15. Two kinds of Article 15s, both of them are bad, but one can really fuck you in the civilian world, which is the field grade. He's like, I got a field grade Article 15 waiting for you. I got to have you come sign this counseling statement so we can push it on up to the company, who will push it on to brigade, so we can make sure that you get your field grade Article 15, because this is unacceptable. And I gave no fucks. I was back home. I was cleared out of the military. I didn't even have my ID on me anymore. So this is what I told this motherfucker. I was like, sorry, Morris, I'm not going to Korea. There's not anything in the world you can make me do to go there. I'm not going to Korea. I'm not going. I'm not signing a piece of paper. This isn't happening. Okay? I'm officially out of the Army in 2 weeks and 4 days. So, how about, and he's like, oh, Montgomery, he's getting all pissed off. Montgomery, what the fuck? You can't talk, you're disrespecting NCO. That's another strike for you. You're gonna get hammed up. We're gonna dishonorably discharge you. And I'm like, I got my DD-214 in hand, which says I was honorably discharged, so go suck a dick. And he's like, I can't, this is the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen in my life. And he was like yelling and screaming. And I was like, sorry, Morris, what did you expect to happen? How about this? How about you call branch, have them issue orders for me, have them pay over $2,000 for a ticket for me to fly there. On top of that, have them pay for a passport. Because I don't have a passport because I had military orders. So not only do I need orders, I don't have a military ID anymore. So you would have to have them pay for a passport. You're asking, and you have to have it expedited in less than 2 weeks. Because obviously once my ETS date is up, I can't go on post anyway. So you have to get a hold of branch, have them issue out me orders, have them pay for a fucking plane ticket round trip, and on top of it, you have to fucking get me a fucking passport. And you have to do all that in 2 weeks' time. Can you do that? Is that something that you and your magical NCO fucking powers can accomplish? If not, fuck off. I fucking hate you. Get hit by a goddamn bus, you piece of fucking shit. And I hung up on her. My girlfriend wasn't very happy about that. She didn't get in trouble, but she got bitched at for it. But it's like whatever, man. There's something I did want to talk about, but I'm gonna save that for when I get back. I gotta go in 5 minutes just to help her get back upstairs. She took our son on a walk. How long are your deployments? 12? I just got back from my first 6 months overseas. So when I was deployed, I deployed for 11 months. It was a 12-month deployment, but I went home early because at the time I was working the arms room. So because I was working the arms room, I had to come back home to get the arms room set up stateside so that when everyone came in, I could take their weapons in, account for them, and all this shit. So I had to come back a month early. But yeah, it was our deployments were 12 or 18 months. When I first deployed, that's when they phased out 18 months. So that's when 12 months was the standard. I think they cut it down to 9 months. Because if there's like certain federal laws and whatever that regulate how far you can be away. If you're away for 12 months, then you have to get R&R. You have to like let the person go home with free leave because they've been away for so long. But if you're only gone for 9 months, then they don't need R&R. You don't have to make them go home for that length of time. So it saves them a shitload of money. What's that website where people, where like you do the webcam thing and you find someone random and you guys talk?
Oh, isn't that Omegle?
There's Omegle and there's another one. Not
Oh,
Chatterbait.
I don't know what the other one.
What is it? Well, we had this guy that he met a girl on Omegle. Like just this random girl, right? He met this girl. And he was in Korea, or Chat Roulette. He met this girl on Chat Roulette. He was in Korea for 4 years straight, never took leave. He was in Korea for 4 years. You're only supposed to be there for a single year. He was supposed to be there for 2 years because he was married, but then he got divorced, but then he got stuck there and he re-enlisted, and it was just a fuck story. He was in fucking Korea for 4 fucking years and never took leave. Can you imagine working every single fucking day, nonstop, as a fucking cook for 4 years? You get the occasional weekend off, but that's about fucking it. Fuck that. This dude had some marbles loose. Like this guy, like he had some problems. Like socially, he was like inept. Like you need to go home, man. You need to go see your family or something. Instead of, when he finally decided to go home on leave, you know what he did? He went home. He went to Iowa, of all places. Met the girl in person that he met on Chat Roulette and got married to her. Dude definitely had a few screws loose. Like, and I'm no spring chicken myself, but that bitch was fucking nasty as fuck looking. But I'm just, you know, that's just me saying. This is, you know, it's whatever. I'm gonna go help him get upstairs. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm supposed to be arguing with him? I mean, we can argue if you want.
Hello?
Hey, so I'm glad I got a... Fuck, man. Where is... Little boy, welcome back.
Yeah, what's going on?
So, I'm glad there's people on. There's something I've been wanting to kind of... Something I've been wanting to talk about, something I wanted to do, but I kind of wanted to run it by some people first.
Okay. What do you want? Hit us.
Change some stuff. Give me just a second to puff the magic dragon.
Alright.
Alright. This is something I've been thinking about doing something to this effect for a couple weeks now. Probably about a month. My life has been all over the place. There have been good times, there have been bad times. There have been times in my life where I had nothing. And this is after being out of the Army. Hell, even when I was in the Army, I went through some fucking crazy shit. There was a time when I was enlisted where I was actually homeless while in the Army, if you can fucking believe that, but it fucking happened. Crazy story there. But there was a good stretch of like almost 2 years of my life where I was off and on, but for the most part living out of a car. You know, it just was what it was. I try to keep my mind positive and everything. And I look at my life now. Yeah, I might be streaming out of a closet, but holy fuck, I didn't have this 2 years ago. You know, so I'm very grateful and very thankful. And the reason why I'm at the spot where I got to now, it all came from this idea that I have from another YouTuber, Louis Rossman. He had this mantra of own your success, you know, of being successful and owning it, you know. Which is why I do the whole gig economy thing. I don't do the whole 9 to 5. I like to
see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass.
Thing 545. Thank you for that. Yeah. So I like to do the things on my schedule, on my time, and to be somewhat in control of it. But at the same time, I want to be able to do something to give back. And I'm not saying like, oh, just donate to charity, because what the fuck is money gonna do, right? But yeah, it does involve money. But this idea that I have, it's not something for me. My life, I think, is pretty good right now. Could it be better? Yeah. Everyone's life can almost always be better. But, you know, I'm very content where I'm at, and I like the direction that I'm going. And I would like to do something for someone else. There's this guy. I've lived out in Vegas for a year and a half now. There's this guy, probably about my age, I think a couple years younger, homeless dude. And he's been, like, living over by the Walmart, you know, begging for change and stuff. And he's been doing this the whole time that I've lived here. So, fuck, it could have been even longer. And fake wife has actually spoken to him before. You know, she gave him some cash or whatever. And, you know, he's a young kid, just had a bad experience or whatever, and just shit just didn't pan out for him. You know, he wants to work and stuff, but he's limited. So, and I watch the Philip DeFranco show, like, religiously, damn near every day. And one of these stories that had come up was this couple. They found this homeless guy. So let me just talk about this story real quick. This couple, I guess this girl, like, she needed gas and she didn't have any money on her, so this homeless dude had $20. He gave her $20 so that she could fill up her tank and so she can keep driving. So she decided to put out a fucking GoFundMe to raise money for this guy. Well, the long story short is they took all the fucking money, right? Which was really fucked up, right? And they did, like, subpoenas and all this stuff of their account records. Come to find out, they spent all the fucking money. They kept saying, like, oh, we have the money. We're just holding on to it because we don't think he, you know, him being homeless, he's not going to be responsible for it. It was this huge sad story, fuck off, whatever, right? Yeah. So this nasty fucking piece of human trash, you know, did this thing, taking advantage of another person, making money off of someone else's fucking struggles. I just think that shit's fucking disgusting, right? So one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to sit down and talk with this guy. I wanted to, you know, kind of, I like, literally, I want to take time out of my day. One of the days that I'm free, when I drive by there and I see him, I want to talk to him. I literally, this is my plan, is to, and this is gonna just follow me on this. It's gonna sound weird before it sounds good. I want to get cameras rolling, right? I got a cheap fucking GoPro knockoff I can mount up in the truck. I want to pull over, get the cameras rolling, get my laptop and my fucking microphone ready, podcast this shit. I want to archive this conversation with him. I want to, like, hey, can you sit down? Can we talk for a bit, you know? I want to see what's going on in this guy's world, and I want to help. But I don't want to say, like, I want to start a GoFundMe where I can get you $100,000. That's going to be great. That's not going to help fucking anybody, okay? See, money can help with a lot, don't get me wrong. But a lot of times when you just give someone money, it just goes flu-flu. Obviously, if I were to do a GoFundMe for this guy, it's not like I would have it in my name. That's completely fucked up, okay? Obviously, if I were to do this for him, if I were to do something on my end where I could reach out to the fucking ether of the internet, try to find some kind souls to help this guy out, all that money would be in his name and would be going to his bank account. I would literally just take him to a Starbucks, get on the Wi-Fi, have him set it all up. It's like, all right, there you go. Give me the links. Let me go take care of business. I don't even want to have my hands tied to it. That's the whole premise of this idea that I have. This is for him. But here's my goal. I've been on TaskRabbit for a while now, and I've, like, literally, it's changed my life. The flexibility of my work schedule, and I've made a lot more money than I did back when I was making 9 to 5. I'm actually able to pay my fucking bills now, which is nuts. So And I want to be able to provide that for him. Like, look, man, the whole purpose of this GoFundMe, we're going to get you a vehicle, we're going to get you some tools, and we're going to get you set up on the TaskRabbit platform, all right? You obviously want to work. We're going to give you all the things you need necessary to be able to work. And that's kind of like my idea. Like, this is like I'm brainstorming. I want to be able to help this guy, and that's the first thing I can think of. What do you guys think? Princess, welcome to the program.
I think it's good that you want to help him. What I would do is, like, you know, like you said, sit down with him and talk to him. But, like, when you do that, see, like, what kind of direction he wants to go in. Like,
well,
see,
yeah, obviously.
And just see, like, you know, ask him what he thinks, you know, he needs. And then, you know, go off of that.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Princess, what do you think?
I joined kind of late where you just said you wanted to help him, so I'm assuming he's homeless.
Yes.
And, like, you've talked to him before?
I haven't. Fake wife has. Basically, the story that I heard from her was that he's a young guy. He's, like, I think a couple years younger than me. Bad experiences in life kind of pushed him in a certain direction, and he's just been homeless for a while. And as far as I know, he's been out in the streets since I moved here a year and a half ago. So it could have been longer for all we know. And he's, you know, he wants to work. And I guess when Fake Wife was, like, you know, giving him some of the cash that she had on her, there was another girl in the parking lot, too, that was trying to help out. And, you know, she was talking about, like, oh, well, I can probably get some work for you if you're interested. He's like, oh, cool. And she's like, oh, it's on the other side of town. He's like, well, I don't have a car or anything. And she's like, oh, you can bus there or whatever. Or the girl's like, oh, you're homeless. Can't you just live near the work then? You can pretty much live where... Like, it was like a fuck... I don't know whatever happened from it. I don't think he ever got the job or whatever, but... I can resonate with the limitations thing, because there was a time where I was homeless and all I had was my car. It's like I was homeless, but I had a car, and it was still almost impossible for me to get hired at places. That was back in the day. That's less about me. You know what I mean? But yes, that's basically the long and the short of it.
I think it's awesome. It's an awesome plan. Yeah, I wouldn't really know how to go about that. Is there a way that you can just, like, say, I'll pick you up and you can help me do TaskRabbit or something? Or you can say, I'll set up the job and then you just tell me, like, what you're willing to do. These are the kind of jobs they have, and I'll just pick you up tomorrow or whenever.
Well,
I don't know.
All right, so that would not work at all. So if I could do that one of two ways. I could, like, take him to jobs that I have and then give him half of the money that I earn from that job. Then essentially what happens is I get a pay cut, because that person gets twice as many people by paying the same exact rate. That's not going to work out. The other flip side is to get him started up on TaskRabbit. I don't think he has a phone, so I would have to sign in and out of my account and his account all the time in order to get alerts. Or I would have to buy a separate phone, so I would have two phones, so an account was on each phone, so I can get alerts for each of them. Get it set up for, like, you know, it's.
What if you bought him a track phone and you just gave it to him? Because those are kind of cheap, aren't they? And then you just put, like, you know, 50 minutes on it or 100 minutes.
Well, it has to meet, I think, like, it's a certain version of Android that TaskRabbit has to meet. If you can't meet that version of Android, then you can't use the app. That's the downside of that. So
you can get some pretty good phones.
Oh yeah, you can. But here's the thing. The reason why I was thinking of the way I was, because I did think of this. Like, well, what if I hooked them up with a phone? Because I've met people that don't even have cars when they're on TaskRabbit, right? These people aren't very successful. They don't get a lot of work because they're limited to how far they can go, you know? And, you know, the thing is with me, though, the thing that makes me so successful at TaskRabbit is the fact that I have a truck. The fact that I can move from point A to point B, and I have that flexibility. You know, I can set myself up with 3 jobs a day to where the whole day I go to one job, finish it, and go to the next one, you know? if for someone that doesn't have a vehicle, that if they're taking the bus, then it's like the bus route from location to location. That it's another limitation, you know. So the reason why I had the idea that I had, which is why I decided to GoFundMe would probably be the best viable option, was because that would, if it were successful, then he would be able to have a vehicle. And I'm not saying like anything brand fucking new. I'm just saying something like functional, okay? Yeah. And if he were to work TaskRabbit for 1 month, I guarantee you at that 1 month mark, he would be much better off financially, so he could actually find a room to rent or a place to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why. You know, that's why it was the idea that blossomed. Obviously, I would sit and talk with him, see what his plan for the future is, and just to see what advice or what I could do on my end to probably assist.
Isn't there like some kind of program that, or like, can't he just go down to the like social service office and tell him his situation and be like, I need help, I need a place to stay? All right, so when
I first moved out to Las Vegas, fake wife was staying with her mom. I was sleeping in my car for a few months until we found a place to live. It wasn't like I didn't have money per se. I didn't have a job. I had my car, and that was it. We had a little bit of money saved up so we can get an apartment, but that was it. So what I needed I need somewhere to live for the time being. Or whatever, because I can't stand living in my car. It's very limited out here. Las Vegas has a huge homeless population, and the actual outreach for people that are homeless, I don't want to say it's non-existent. It's out there, but like there's a lot of red tape around it. Like for example, someone's homeless, right? I was homeless at the time. I went into these agencies looking for work, looking for like, hey, is there some kind of job connect program or something where I can get, like, I'm looking for work out here. Is there any kind of thing where I can, you know, I've done the whole Craigslist, it's not working out. Is there any programs? Yeah, there was. You need to have a fucking physical address to give them in order to even get started on it. Well, I'm homeless. Well, you have to have some kind of address. And then so I used fake wife's address. Then I had to drive all the way to the other end of town. And it's like, it's as far as fuck away on the other side of town. I had like hardly, like the money I had to pinch it because I needed to save. But I'm spending so much fucking money in gas driving back and forth because I had to check into this place every fucking day to stay in the program. So I'm driving fucking like 60 miles every day just for this one thing. Not even to mention all the other places I'm driving around town. 60 miles a day to this place to check in to show like, hey, I'm still here, because the way it was set up, it was like they had people living there as well. And so if you're part of the program, then you had to check in every day. So the people that live there, they were able to check in every single day. That's another thing too that I found out. There are like homeless shelters and stuff, but they're extremely fucking limited. They're very limited. That's why I didn't mind just saying, fuck it, I'm gonna keep sleeping in my car. I would rather sleep in my car than sleep in like these fucking refugee shelters or whatever they had. I think that for me, that's more so a personal preference. I kind of like my privacy and all that. But like the reason why I bring this up is because I was someone that was once at that point in that position. Not as bad. I at least had a vehicle, but I've tried to use these government programs, and I've tried to be a part of this and try to make my way up utilizing it, and it's so difficult. There's so much fucking red tape. You know, when you're homeless, the system, they want to help, quote unquote, but they're not very helpful, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Like, you need an address, and then if you're homeless, and it's like a catch-22.
Oh yeah, you also need your birth certificate, your social security card. You need all these things, and they're not just copies. You have to have certified original copies. And it's like there's so much shit that you need that someone that lives on the street, that their whole world is in a backpack, do they have all this documentation? Do they have all this stuff? You know, and once again, that's why it was so easy for me to think of TaskRabbit. Like, that's, you know, just as a starting point, at least something to kind of get his gears going, you know.
So yeah, I say hook them up with a track phone and then set them up on TaskRabbit. Maybe get some funds together to get like a old junker as a car, maybe a little gas money, and send him off and see how he does.
I mean that's a viable thing, but if he doesn't have a form of transportation, he's not going to get a lot of work. That's the thing. I'm doing jobs that go all the way out to Boulder City. That's a 45-minute drive one way from here. You know what I'm saying? Like, without a vehicle, like there was a guy that's on TaskRabbit, this millennial fuckboy kid that I did a job with before, and the only reason why he was able to do that job is because it was a mile away from his house. He can't do anything further because he doesn't have a vehicle. And it's like, how much work do you get? And I was like, well, I'm busy all the time. And he's like, oh, I get maybe 1 or 2 jobs a week, but even then I can't do them all because they're all like, I get hired, but they're all so far away I can't go to them.
Yeah.
So that's you know, that's where it's a good idea, but I'm trying to think of something more realistic, you know.
Definitely a bike. Bike's a realistic option.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Good for health too.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in the same town area, yeah, maybe. I guess that's
Get him a moped.
a good idea.
Just a bike's the cheapest thing I could think of that you could get somebody around on.
Uh-huh.
Maybe if you just post his picture in like his story on Facebook or something, maybe it'll go viral, or YouTube or like some kind of social media, and say like,
oh, that's what you
guy
missed.
just wants a job.
That's what you missed. So what?
Oh.
My initial plan was one of the days that I'm free, because I know the spot that he's at. He's always at the same spot. One of the days that I was free, I was going to drive by, try and talk with him, see if he was okay with it, sit him down, get the cameras rolling, get the microphone going, podcast that shit, kind of, you know, give him an opportunity to, like, you know, be a part of it. And like I said, when I thought of the idea for the whole GoFundMe thing for him, it wouldn't be tied to me at all. Essentially, I would promote it for him, but it wouldn't be under my name. It wouldn't be tied to my account or anything. It would be all for him, because one of the things that really disgusts me about humanity, I don't know if you watched the Philip DeFranco show, I talked about this a minute ago. There was this girl, it was a very similar situation. She met this homeless guy that gave her $20. A homeless dude gave her $20 because she didn't have any money for gas. And so she started GoFundMe for him, raised like $300,000. I think it was a little more than that, actually, or $400,000. She took all the fucking money. Like, well, that's fucking disgusting. And, you know, it was like this weird thing because it was under her name. It was her name on the GoFundMe. It was her bank account attached to it. It's like, why even?
Isn't
like,
he suing her?
Yeah, there's a whole fucking fucked up story going on with that. But the meat and potatoes of it is that it should have never been in her name in the first place if the money was meant for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, I get it. The guy, he has a history of drug abuse. I get that, okay? I understand that, you know, you don't want to give money to someone, you want to have it in like some sort of escrow account. Then why didn't you set that up to begin with? You know, it's like there's all these different factors that play in to make it so shady and so fucked up. You know, this bitch knew that what she was getting into. She knew that, like, hey, just do this little sob story for this guy, whatever, and then I'll just pocket the cash. You know, like, that's the kind of person that this girl was. So, no respect, no love lost for hoes like that.
Damn.
Yeah, if she was really genuine, I mean, there's ways to get around this. Like, you could just set up a trust fund and have a trustee dole out the money.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But she never had anything set up like that.
I don't know. Like, I don't want to say this. Like, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Some people, they see a GoFundMe page and then they scope it out and they're like, oh, this person gave $50. Yeah, they're good. I'm just gonna like skip it. Because like I've heard people ranting on certain you know, social media, or like some people I've talked to in person, they're just like, there's so many GoFundMe pages, it's so annoying. Like, people want, you know, a new car, they want to send their kid off to like a missionary, like to become a missionary in Africa or whatever, and it's like ridiculous. So people are getting like I don't know, it seems like every time you go on social media somebody has a GoFundMe page, but I think he deserves it. Like, he needs it. He's somebody that actually needs it. But
I love how a lot of the things that you bring up, it's like, oh, don't take offense to this, but this is how I feel about this. And I'm like, well, actually, I have real life experience with that. And you're like, oh, fuck. I had a GoFundMe page when I was homeless. It was successful and it helped me out a lot. I'm just saying. It's
no,
like,
that's good. No, that's what it's for. Like, it's for people who have like terminal cancer. They're leaving little kids behind. It's for people, you know, who are dead ass broke or homeless. But my what I was getting at is, I wonder if you would get more money if you started off not with the GoFundMe page, just say like, hey, does anyone have a job in this area, and then say his story and like a picture of him, and then in the comments people will be like, make a GoFundMe page, and then you say like, should I do it? Because if you do it like that, then it comes across more like I'm not just trying to, I don't know, maybe I'm just overthink everything.
I see what you're saying. I don't know where I would share it though, because if I would share it on my Facebook page, the vast majority of people on my Facebook page do not live in Vegas. I have 2 people, aside from Fake Wife, on my Facebook page that live in Vegas.
You got to do it on the, you got to do it on those buy, trade, sell type, or like news. Yeah, no. Join. I'm telling you, I have so many of those.
I'm a part of all of those, but every post I see from those things is garbage. But I see what you're saying though.
Yeah. There is some, like, I'm trying to think of, like, community type, like, what's going on in my area, or, like, Crime Watch, or things like that. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I was gonna say, like, I know, you keep talking about setting up a, like, a GoFundMe for this guy, and I think that's a really good idea, and it's, it's really nice that you're going to try to do this. But like you said, that thing in the news lately about the one chick who like set up the GoFundMe and stole all the money from the homeless man.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe people would be a little like, less willing to give money to a similar type of GoFundMe, because they're suspicious that you would do the same thing.
No, I feel you. That's why I wanted to bring the question up with you guys. I had an idea, but I needed to filter it, if you will, which is why I like talking with you guys about it. But yeah, I feel you, man. That's one thing I did think of. It's like, well, that's so close. You know what I mean? Like, how would that work out exactly? Hey, I'm gonna show this on stream. What does that look like to you guys?
What? No,
Oh, my stream's probably not caught up yet.
Corey, what is on my dog?
Where's mine?
What's up, dude?
That looks like an anal.
There's a guy here, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Anal bead.
Like what? It's a curling iron, apparently.
Yeah, that looks weird, dude.
Princess, did you see that?
No, I can't be on Discord and Twitch at the same time. Like,
you're on your phone?
Yeah, but I know what you're talking about.
Curling iron.
It's a curling iron that looks like an anal bead.
Is it black?
Hockey stick. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have that one. I don't have like I just have like the smooth. It looks like a pudding pop or something.
Oh, it's got a silicone tip on it. It's water resistant. All that.
No.
Quick cleanup.
Oh my gosh. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I know somebody who puts their sex toys in the dishwasher, and I'm like, I'm never eating at their house ever.
That's disgusting.
That is fucking gross. Who the fuck does that?
At least they have the effort to wash that. Dude, there's people out there that don't.
I was so freaked out that like I googled it because I want to see how many people are like, yeah, I do it too, and like tons of people do it, and so I'm like, now I'm like really paranoid.
I should try it.
Like, what do you have that you need that high intensity of like washing?
That high intensity. Oh yeah, you got like syphilis or some shit. It's like got like all this green shit all over it. In the
next
ridges.
subject.
Maybe they're just really freaked out, dude. Maybe, they don't want bacteria up all in them.
Well, there's already...
Yeah, just all over their, like, sippy cups and, like, dinner plates.
Get, like, a 5-gallon bucket from Home Depot, put a little bleach. Like...
I've said too much. It's actually a dude.
What?
that's
Oh,
gross.
Oh, so
Yeah,
so
it gets
so it's a
weirder.
fleshlight?
Hold up.
No.
What is it?
Well, I don't know his collection. I don't know details, but I do know from a friend that he has like a box in his closet because he was single for a long time and he would invite girls back to his place. And he said, I don't know what girl would think this was okay, but like he would like pull out this box and be like, so which sex toy do you want to use, or like what do you want to use these furry handcuffs that are stuck together? Like,
It seems like he just watched 50 Shades of Grey. It was just copying that guy.
Here's the
Honestly.
thing.
Yeah.
What
he's really
man-
old too.
Here's the thing. It's one thing if it's like if it's a guy and his significant other, like a guy and his girlfriend, and he busts out like a couple different dildos or whatever. Like, it's like whatever.
That are brand new, that have never been used before.
Or like it's like one that she has or whatever. It's like it's the way my thing of the sex toy is. You can't, like, I've seen this on Craigslist, I've seen this on OfferUp, I've seen it on 5 Miles, I've seen it on Facebook, I've seen all these ads for it. People selling their used sex toys. That's fucking disgusting as fuck. So this guy has a box, a fucking U-Haul box filled with fucking plastic dicks, and he's like, hey, which one do you want to use? Or like all this shit, and it's like, those are open. Those are not sterilized, okay?
That sounds like you've been getting a deal, though.
Yeah.
Which is worse, the person selling them or the person buying them?
The person
Buying.
Buying.
gotta
Definitely
be
buying.
pretty desperate.
Hey, can I ask you guys a legitimate question? Because I'm like thinking about this, and I don't know like what I should do.
What is it? You're trying to start a GoFundMe for a homeless person? Don't do it.
No,
Scam.
it's not that. So pretty much a girl, and I don't want to go any more specifics about the girl.
Is this the girl from the grocery store? Are we talking about this again?
No, different girl.
God, you are a player, man.
She says, like, okay, everything is going really good, right? Like, super great, super connective. Never feels like anything could go wrong, right?
You haven't gotten laid yet. Continue.
No, we haven't. But
You're a gentleman. I like that.
I say, like, so we talked about the subject of, how would we confront each other on things? And I was like, oh, well, I don't know. We can do it whatever way you want, dude. You want to do it in a dark call with a
You
single
call her
light, just
dude?
face to face? Yes, I call her dude all the time. I don't know why I do that, but I do.
It's a sex thing. Continue.
And, yeah. So after, like, a couple hours, have a conversation and stuff like that, she says, if I had one thing to tell you, it'd be to stop being so great. And I was like,
That is like the biggest
Is that
cliche
big?
I've ever heard. Did
yeah,
she
is
say
that, but is it a cliche or is it actually true? Like, is there like literally like nothing so wrong that it's awkward that there's nothing wrong?
Princess, please take this away. You're a woman. Go.
Like, I need to know. Like, am I doing something wrong? Am I being
Is-
too much of like a gentleman? Like, do I need to tone it down, or do I need to actually be the same way that I am?
Wait, is this a long distance relationship?
Yes, right now.
Okay, have you guys met in person yet?
We have plans in November.
Okay, so usually these kind of relationships online, you meet them wherever you have a phone conversation relationship. These kind of relationships are like perfect. There's so many cases of this. I've heard people like talking about this. I'm not an expert at all, just some random person on the internet, but I've heard so many cases.
This is the best person to go to right now. The random person on the internet. I need to know. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. It's gonna be perfect until you guys meet, and then maybe even like for a couple days to a week or two or a month or two. But like after a while, that's gonna start wearing off because like everything is better from a distance, and like you get along great from a distance because like it's different in person. Like when you're around each other all the time, and then at some point you're gonna have like disagreements or like you're not gonna see eye to eye on things. And which is normal, but like that's gonna be, it might take a really long time, so it's gonna, I don't know, you just have to be careful like not to over
Say it.
Don't get married, just don't get married, all right? Just don't get married, don't lock it in, give it like a year or two, make sure that this girl is like, consistent. And
Heard that. Heard that.
yeah, I mean, that's wrap it up so you don't get anybody pregnant, and that's all you can do.
All right.
Definitely raw dog. Fuck on the first
Hell
date
no.
at the airport. I'm telling you, man. You got.
Dude, I want to. I'm like, yeah, dude, I want to go out of my mind. You have no idea. It's crazy.
No, she's right though. She's right. The whole long distance thing, you want to have a little. You want to cushion yourself just a bit because, fuck, man. I've had long distance relationships and there was a lot of positives to them. But the downside is when you finally see them in person, a lot of things can change. Do you remember Taylor?
I do not.
Okay. Dated Taylor right after Brandy, and you know it was great. We met because we met when I was home on R&R, but we really didn't know each other. We just met, and then we were talking while I was deployed, and she was great, this great person, and all this stuff. And then when I finally saw her in person, a lot of the things that I had thought about her, it took me a long time to really comprehend these things I was thinking. But what I noticed is that she was pretty selfish. I was home on leave, and she would get upset because I would go hang out with Michael. And it's like, you have a kid. You know how the value of having a kid. I've been away for a long time. Of course I want to see my son. But she, you know, not like all-out fights, but she would bitch that I'm like, oh, you're going to leave me to go wherever. And it's like, I'm going to hang out with my son, and you're trying to hang that over my head. But in the moment, I was so in tune with, like trying to make her happy and be with her and everything, to where it fucked with me, to where I would feel guilty for going to see my son. Little things like that. These nuances of someone's persona really does flesh out when they're right there with you in person. So definitely have a cushion for that. Obviously, I'm not saying put up these brick wall between you. No, by no means am I saying
I'm infamous for that too. God damn.
Don't put up a brick wall. Just be realistic about shit, man. That's about it.
Yeah. She might be great. She might be the best girl that you've ever met, but be careful. If you're gonna have a long distance relationship, don't be like, oh, I like you so much, and then I met you and I like you so much, I'm gonna move to your state and change my whole life, because that happens a lot too, and a lot of people regret that. But also, make sure the girl doesn't have a million secrets. If you see red flags, don't be brush it off and be like, it's not a big deal. Think one step ahead and be like, if she's lying about this, I just gotta stay awake and not be, fooled, because a lot of people don't catfish physically. They catfish personality wise and keeping a lot of secrets. And don't worry about the $50,000 that I have. Let's get married.
Princess, real quick. I want to vet Corey Smith on here. We've known each other since we were 5. Okay, we've known each other our entire lives. I can vouch for the fact that he is genuinely a really good dude. He's a wholesome human being. He's a good guy. You know? So when she says, "Quit being such a great guy," I don't take that as her I'm looking as more of a bad boy. I'm looking for more of a chat. I'm taking that as, she's got some insecurities. There's something that happened in this girl's life to make her feel like, all right, this guy's really good. What's the catch? I've dated girls like that, where you're nice to them, you're the gentleman, or you're genuine with them, and you're upfront and you're honest, and there's this thing in their head that they don't like. They don't like the upfront and honest and genuine guy, because it's not what they're used to. They've been burned in the past, and it haunts them.
Hey, I'm probably gonna go for tonight.
Okay, boss. Thanks for being on the program.
Yeah, I'll come back, and probably sometime this week. Yeah, whenever free time.
Hey man, yes, do your thing, get swole. Thank you so much for joining the program.
All right, see you.
Take care.
Bye.
With that transition, I just wanted to say sorry for all the background noise I'm causing. I'm in my car.
Oh, you're good, dog.
It's all good, dude. I didn't even notice it.
Oh, Foibles, get up in the voice chat. Get up in the voice chat. We need a misogynistic viewpoint on this. I like to keep things well-rounded here, and Foibles is by far the best for that.
Yeah, well, I felt like coming here with this is probably the best for me.
All right, on to the we're gonna track back to the used dildo. I have a
Oh,
picture
shit.
that I found.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, stream chat.
That is fucking disgusting. Slightly used dildo.
Wait, let me see. I gotta see this.
That's fake, dude. There's no way.
Oh my god.
Well, obviously it's fake, but it's still funny.
Where's it at? Stream chat?
Yeah.
Stream, yeah.
Oh, I thought I still had to open. Oh, I did.
All right, Corey. Foibles is here. Give him the cliff notes of your situation, and then he'll answer your question.
Maybe reiterate myself, pretty much?
Yeah, just like cliff notes, just so he can get an idea.
I'm gonna leave the server because of that picture.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just like that's disgusting.
It's just chocolate pudding.
Hey, sometimes you're a little horny.
Okay,
Please don't leave
so
the server. It's deleted.
I'm kidding. Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, it is gone because I got sick of seeing it anyway. It was funny though. I did think it was funny, but it is fucking gross.
I didn't see it, but it's alright.
Wait, it was chocolate pudding. How do you know it was chocolate pudding? Were those yours?
Yeah.
What?
Hell yeah.
All right, Corey, go ahead.
So basically, I met this girl. I don't really want to go into a lot of details because it's just like personal, but we decided to talk about the subject of, you know, like issues, like how are we going to confront them. And I came up with this idea. I was like, oh, we could just like sit down and face to face, like, you know, we could write out a piece of paper, we could talk to each other, however we do it, we do it. And we went into that conversation for like a couple hours, and then we veered off of it for a little while. And then right at the end of the conversation, she said, on my little note of piece of paper, the thing that I would say is to stop being so great. This is a long distance relationship so far. So I was like thinking like, does that mean like, am I doing something wrong by being too much of a gentleman, or do I continue to be a gentleman and do the genuine things that I do?
Real quick, before you jump in, Foibles, I have a very important question, Corey.
Okay.
Have you video chatted this woman, or has it only been like voice chat?
Yeah. We video chatted today briefly.
Okay, cool.
That's on the agenda. Like more, I had some issues with my mic, and then also someone showed up at my house and I had to go. So we had plans to do it again.
But you've seen her physically moving around in video format.
Yes.
With her voice attached to it, right?
Yep. Yes. She's not a catfish. She's not like.
Okay, cool. Scale from 1 to 10.
Like fucking 10.
That's my boy. All right, Foibles, what do you got for us?
So, you're long distance.
Yes. You can ask questions. I'm more comfortable with sharing whatever that I didn't share. So I just I don't know. I don't want to go off into like a tangent of like, oh, this is how I met her, or this is what the way she is, or this all that. You know what I'm saying? So if there's something that you need to know, go ahead and ask.
Well, I probably got enough information already. Just it comes down fundamentally.
Hey, Foibles, it sounds like you're underwater.
I agree.
Yeah, it's because I'm not wearing my headset. I'm actually in bed right now.
Oh fuck. Oh, okay, cool. Continue.
So, pardon the shitty audio, but anyways, the way people work, in a lot of contexts is a lot of people want to get by on minimal effort and minimal interaction. So if you're coming at it of trying your hardest and being the best that you can be, then that kind of sets an example, and it can put a lot of people out of their comfort zone.
I hear that.
So if it's somebody who's not willing to meet you in the middle, they may actually just opt to trade you in for something that is lower effort.
Wait, hold on. I just want to make sure that I'm hearing you clearly. So you talked about minimal effort, which is it's so true. I mean, it's like it's a human thing where we just do the bare minimum. But what did you say? That you need her to meet where?
Halfway.
Well, like, basically, you're setting a standard where somebody's gonna have to meet you there, and some people, well, I'd say a lot of people aren't willing to bring themselves to that standard, so they'd rather find somebody else who isn't gonna hold them to that standard.
Right, but there's a phrase that you use. He needs, like, the two of them need to meet. Where? It was like a phrase.
If there's
in
an
the middle.
his argument is basically if there's an expectation given to him.
What's going on here?
If an expectation is given to a human being, they more than likely will not meet that expectation and meet it halfway. Or something along those lines. And hi.
Yeah, that's about right. You got the idea of it, and you know, and the fact that it's long distance too. I don't know. That's not making it any better. And the fact that this is something difficult to talk about is kind of a red flag.
Distance?
Yeah, distance.
It's difficult to talk about because it's a red flag?
No, well, like, the fact that she's saying, like, you're too good, or whatever, might also be saying that, you know, since you've got all that space, right, she's apt to want to either monkey branch or stick her, you know, hand in other cookie jars or whatever. So, you being too good in this scenario can lay the guilt on her, and that's not what she wants. She wants to not feel guilty about whatever inevitable cheating might go on.
Okay. So,
I agree with Mace about the insecurity thing. That sounds like something a lot of women would do. Like, a lot of women can't take compliments, or they like don't know how to act when a man is like really good to them or like being a gentleman. But I mean, it could be so many things. Was she just trying to compliment you?
See, that's that. When she's back later, I'll probably ask her what she meant by that.
You know, Princess, I literally, in my life, I had a girl get offended. Like, we had a great date. It was like, you know, not as great as the dates I have with fake wife, but of girls that I've been on dates with, it was one of the coolest, awesome.
Fake wife. All right, sorry, I had to say that.
It was one of the greatest dates I'd ever been on. But at the end of the night, because I didn't invite her back up to my room to fucking lay some pipe, she was offended at that because she was so used to either sleeping on the first date or having guys make the attempt to do that. She like literally like was losing sleep over it for the next week until we went on our second date. Like, I heard from a friend of ours, a mutual friend, like, it was eating at her. Like, what is wrong with me that he didn't try to fuck me? And I'm like, is that where we're at in society now? Or I don't know.
Yikes.
Casual sex is such a, like, it hasn't gotten too far. It's just that, like, it's now the new norm, you know? And so I don't know if it's necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's kind of the new reality. And I guess if you're somewhat more of a traditionalist, which is totally fine. I just think that it might turn some people off, and that just might mean that you guys aren't compatible, and that's fine.
Well, you've got these diametrically opposed ideas, right? That it's on one hand it's bad to objectify women, but on the other hand, women have been trained to get self-worth out of this objectification. So it kind of leaves you at a catch-22.
Yeah, to an extent, you're right, which is weird. But
wait a second, guys. Hold on. I'm gonna go talk. So I'll be right back.
All right, do your thing. I just go back to the golden rule. Okay, treat her like a lady, fuck her like a whore. It seems to mellow out just about right.
I heard that.
The golden rule.
Well, I appreciate everything, and you know, I heard a lot of valid points and a lot of good things, and yeah, thanks, guys.
Oh, of course. As
Good
always,
luck.
bud.
Peace.
Keep in mind, I'm a total doomsayer, so... Oh, he's gone. But anyways,
Don't be a fool. Wrap your tool. If it smells like cologne, leave it alone. That bitch is hiding something.
if it smells like fish, make it a dish.
Yeah, that's right.
You guys need to make bumper stickers.
That's probably your best market there, Mace. It's all the crazy people that think that your content is actually, like, serious.
Well, so to a certain point it is. Like, Corey's a buddy of mine. Of course, I'm going to give him real advice. We had another guy in here earlier that was asking about weightlifting tips, and I gave him my scientific rundown. It's like, well, it's all about nutrition. Okay, when you're working out, you're breaking down your protein levels in your muscles. You're damaging your muscles, and by but by your nutrition, it's like, all right, so your muscles like have a sense of memory, so they've been damaged, so they want to repair themselves. They need to repair themselves up to a higher level. I mean, that's like the very basic footnotes, fucking uneducated, slightly interested vantage point that I can give. And he came back on the program today and said, like, hey, I took some of your advice and I've actually felt better after my workout. And I'm like, well, fucking A, dude, look at that. Yeah. We try to be serious, but we keep it fun. We definitely keep it fun.
So I know. Yeah. I actually know the nutritionalist for Conor McGregor personally. He's a good friend of mine. He used to live in the area, and he keeps hammering it down home that nutrition is everything. That you can't go anywhere if you're not putting the right fuel into your body. You know, you gotta have the right. Everything, really. So I'm so glad that you're on here, because I was talking about this with him. One of the things we brought up was protein supplements, and the thing that I told him was, like, protein supplements are very good, but the problem is what's for sale. If you can get something that's FDA approved, something that's been vetted, something that has some level of testing behind it to say, hey, that this is beneficial nutrition that is for this given task, then by all means. But if you go to GNC and you get something that's not FDA approved, then you're just getting whatever filler they want to put in a box and slap a label on. Do they even make supplements that are FDA approved? I think they're like... No, a lot of them are like... They're in a vetting period, and so, like, probably the majority of them will be in a vetting period before you die. Or, like, until you die. Like, that's the problem. It's like, you get killed by the supplements that are being, like, vetted, and then they're gonna kill you before they get around to vetting it. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's just safer to use food as a source of your protein. Like, that's just the downs. Like, that's just the bottom line, is that it's safer to use food as your source of protein and just eat more, and then you have to burn more. You do, but you will get better results. So
the other thing that we talked about was, you know, I'm not saying you have to grill yourself up chicken and steak every fucking 5 minutes. You know, you could eat a lot of carbohydrates and stuff too. You see a lot of these bodybuilders, like, they're loaded up on mashed potatoes, fresh green beans, shit like that. They're not sitting around eating rabbit food, you know.
No, the thing is that you have to eat a lot if you're going to gain that sort of muscle mass. And, you know, these big heavyweight fighters are they all just eat a shit ton. And, you know, the common person who doesn't work out, they're going to eat a bunch of carbohydrates and then get fat. Well, duh. Like, carbohydrates are going to make you fat if you don't burn it off. Like, carbohydrates, I believe, turn into fat pretty quickly. And it's pretty difficult to burn off that fat. So it's like, if you're not working out and you have a carbohydrate diet, like, a diet for a person who's in the UFC is going to be vastly different from a person who has a workout schedule like Mace Valor, you know?
Yeah.
It's just going to be different. And so going off of these weird diets that people come up with as well, it's going to be successful maybe for them if they know what they're doing, but it's definitely for not going to work out for Joe Schmo, you know?
Princess, as a stay-at-home mom, it's a full-time job in and of itself. Do you do anything to kind of?
Wait, stop it there. That's really offensive.
No. I'm asking. Is there anything that you do to kind of, like, work with your busy schedule? Because I know Fake Wife. It's usually when I come home when she's able to do her own repertoire. And one of the big things that we try to do as a couple, as a family, is we try to go on those family walks and stuff. I'm just trying to bounce off different ideas and stuff because I do know that that is a very time-intensive task to juggle with everything else. Not trying to be offensive, okay? Throwing that out there.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm actually food prepping right now because I'm doing 80-day obsession.
Oh, what's that?
I think I started in June. It's like a, what's the other program?
It better not be an MLM.
You know what's that one? The Insanity. I think the Beachbody people.
Ooh.
So it's not really a diet. It's like a
workout program. Okay.
Yeah, it's a workout program, and then it tells you what to eat according to like your height and weight. So of course I have like this because I'm 5'3", so like the worst one. I have like the skimpiest one, and it's like you can have 2 carbs a day, and 1 piece of like Ezekiel bread or like sprouted wheat. That's 1 serving. So like I have never craved like bread so much in my life. Just like bread, rice, potatoes, whatever. But like I can have like a half a banana, like my fruit. So like I have like fruit twice a day. And then I have, you have protein at this time, but it's all like timed. And then you work out 6 days a week. So it's like, but since I started it, I've never had this much energy because I'm forced to like stay on a schedule. I have to wake up at a certain time. I usually am supposed to go to bed at a certain time. Sometimes I'm kind of flexible with that. And then I just never paid attention to like what I ate this much. I never paid attention to like, am I drinking half my body weight in water? I've never done that. So now that I'm doing that, it's like I feel like more alert.
Yeah, you need to. I think most people are drinking too much sodas.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing that we talked about. It's so hard. Like, I'll admit, it's so hard for me to give this shit up. But if I were to give this shit up, I would lose a tremendous amount of weight. Just the liquid fucking sugar, it just leaches onto your body like none other. Themor.
Yeah.
Themor's back. Let's go.
Yo!
How are you?
Everybody having a good time Saturday? Nice to see you're streaming. Looks like I've been at it for a while. That's cool. Nice.
Well, it's Sunday for me. Yay.
Yeah, we talked about 9/11 earlier. We talked about Pizzagate as well. And you were here for that.
That was
it's like full-on conspiracy hour.
I haven't heard about Pizzagate in forever. Holy crap.
Yeah, right?
That's crazy. Jeez, when did that first come out? Was that
2016 is when the WikiLeaks stuff happened.
WikiLeaks is a big topic of discussion just in general.
Any questions come up or conclusions?
Well, they just wanted my opinion on it, and
cool.
Basically the sentiment that I gave, it's like I'm not one for conspiracy theories. If there's a level of validity to it, I'll take a look at it. But the way that it boiled down was because it's like it's been publicly debunked, and I use air quotes when I say that, because when it comes to sex trafficking, human trafficking, stuff like that, it's a huge fucking thing. It's like this underbelly of society. And the perfect example that I gave is like our government being tied, knowingly tied to something like this. The perfect example I gave was Jared Fogle. Now the defense was like, oh, we're law enforcement and we need to build a case against him. So yeah, we knew that he was diddling kids, and we knew who he was doing it with and the arrangements that he was making, and we let him do it for 4 fucking years, right? So if the government has some sort of involvement and knowledge about something like that, then of course the Pizzagate has some validity to it. And so that's why I kind of fall in suit with, is this more of like less of a conspiracy theory and more just like a conspiracy fact? Like it's like a thing that they're just like shoveling underneath the rug to kind of blind from our eyes. I think it falls in more line with that. I think that does have some validity to the point where this is some shit that happened that they're just fucking trying to cover up and say like, oh no, you're looking into shit too hard.
Well, yeah, I think, yeah, of course it's real to some extent. Whether or not the specifics in this, Pizzagate arena are legitimate or not, it's a real thing,
Pizzagate, pineapples or no pineapples?
No clue. But, the question, the idea is, it's a well guarded thing.
Of course,
You know, I think-
pineapples.
I think the
Kids love
conspiracy-
pineapples.
The conspiracy of it is like tapping into your greatest fear, right? I mean, that's really our greatest fear. It's just, you know, children getting wrecked.
I thought it was just. Wait, did you just say wrecked? As...
Well, yeah, like ruined lives, like dead, you know.
Oh, I
like,
thought.
whatever.
Okay. I thought you like were memeing about like the sexual assault of children. And like that's like,
What the fuck, dude? Jesus.
a little too far.
I wanna take a step back and mention that whole pineapple on pizza thing. Have you guys actually seen a picture of the guy that invented pineapple pizza?
No, let's see it.
Oh my god, dude, let me pull it up.
Put it in the chat. Or links are allowed in the
Discord. Yeah.
Sorry.
So what was the question about 9/11? Anything specific?
Oh,
I
it
guess
was
your
just...
Alex Jones just triggers everyone, right? The t-shirt.
Ooh, what do you think about the Alex Jones suit?
Wait, what? He's getting sued?
Yeah, like he was like, duh, he was getting sued by the
Marco Rubio?
No, the families of Sandy Hook.
Oh god.
Yeah, no, he's getting sued by the families of Sandy Hook, and
All
then
right. What's the stipulation behind it, though?
Libel, I believe.
No, it'd be
If I'm-
slander because he said it. Libel
Oh, yeah,
has to be written.
My bad. Well, it might have
so-
been on his website, so it might be both.
Oh well, it could be both then. Oh Jesus, this is
Yeah.
rough. This is a rough looking man.
Pineapple pizza.
You know what's
He
fucked
looks
up? All right, check this out. So I get bored, and my YouTube feed is all fucked up. My recommended section. There
really?
was a documentary. Well, it wasn't so much a documentary. It was one of those government-funded informational videos from the 1950s, and it was about being mentally retarded. He looked like the main character from that documentary.
Oh.
I know that's fucked up, but like I just see they called him Little Timmy in the thing.
Oh.
Yeah, and the whole video is about how he'll never be an airline pilot because he's mentally retarded. Like, it's just crazy to watch these old things and see how far we've come since then. Because back then, mental retardation, from a standpoint, that was like anything. Like now, like back then, like Forrest Gump was mentally retarded. But honestly, he wasn't retarded. I think he was just autistic or something. He was a little slow. The dude wasn't like fucking drooling on his fucking, you know what I mean? But you know the standpoint.
It's either retarded or really retarded. Like there's now there's a distinction. Oh, there's.
So, I was reading this thing about the CIA declassified MK Ultra programs, and one of them was that one of these, you know, retardation or whatever you want to call them, back in the day, they fed the kids radiated oatmeal.
Oh my god! What the fuck is wrong with people?
I mean, even to make that up, like, or even if it's true, like that shit's.
All right, so check this out. So, talking about radiation, I've been like going down the rabbit hole when it comes to watches, and I'm learning about vintage watches and different, like, you know, different timepieces that were manufactured over the years. And I can't remember the name of the company, but what they used was for the luminosity, they used Radion, and they had Radion paint for the luminosity of the markings on these watches, and it was women that were working in these factories, and these women, they would like be glowing at night when they would leave because of the residue from the paint. And for years, they were like lobbying, saying like, "Oh, it's okay, it's fine, it's radioactive, but it's not going to hurt you. They're inactive isotopes," or whatever the fuck argument they made. Next thing you know, a shitload of these women that worked in this factory with this shit fucking ended up dying, and then they finally decide, okay, maybe this shit's not fucking good. These are now out and about. There are people with vintage watch collections that have because the Radion has a half-life of fucking like 1,000 years or some shit. This shit's gonna be glowing on your wrist far after you're fucking dead. It'll be really nice. You'll be able to fucking brighten up your fucking casket when you're wearing it when you're fucking dead.
I mean, like, a large amount, is that gonna kill you? Like, these people that were working in factories, it's like the same argument with, like, okay, one X-ray is fine, but the people that are, you know, constantly, like...
Well, this has happened in industry before. The term the Mad Hatter is a real one. They used to use mercury to tan the hides. They absorb so much of this stuff that they'd actually go crazy. So, you know, the history of the industry not, you know, misusing the chemicals and the people within the industry not being aware of the, you know, there's also different types of metals that, you know, that processes that they would do that would, you know, like gold plating and stuff like that.
Like, people that wore the hats probably didn't get that much exposure to, say, the mercury, but, you know.
Oh yeah, that was like diffusing gold into mercury because it's very soluble in mercury, and then you would essentially evaporate the mercury to gold plate stuff. Now that was obviously before electroplating. There are some people that actually still today prefer to. It's called gilding, I believe. When you use mercury gilding to gold plate stuff, it's like for whatever reason, it's like people are so fascinated by that method. But yeah, it's a fucking...
But as far as radiation goes, there's a guy that was responsible for building the power plants back in the day, and he goes around eating radiation, you know, putting it on his tongue and eating it, and, you know, making fun of the fact that everybody thinks this is a harmful thing, and it's not. There's no proof that radiation is harmful whatsoever.
What?
That's it. I was waiting for him to say some shit like that. Oh god, here we go.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry, go ahead.
Give me a second. Just, I'm gonna take a break and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna take a piss and maybe.
Think about it.
All right, Princess, go ahead.
I know somebody through a friend that has like a tiny baby arm. He has like a regular arm and then he has a like. It's like a baby doll arm.
Polio.
And he said apparently he was born next to a potpourri factory or something like that. And I'm still kind of confused. Like, I don't understand.
Well,
I'm like, I don't want to ask questions though because it's like rude.
I mean, it's one thing if he was born there, but like, did his mom, like, was he conceived in the factory? Like, like during the pregnancy, was he like very close by that shit? I mean, there's a huge difference. Okay, so that has some validity to it, but just being born
I think there was
next
something
to
in the
it.
water, like near the potpourri place or something. I'm still confused.
No, historically, the potpourri factories, they were the ones that were originally putting chemicals in the water that were designed to turn the frogs gay. So obviously we would have some reaction.
Well, he's straight, so...
There's a snake in my boot. No,
There's
but
a snake in the White House.
Just like them were saying, like it's been like this for decades, where companies will basically run rampant doing whatever they can to fulfill their means of production and do it as effectively as possible without putting any foresight into what they're actually doing to the environment around them. So yeah,
it's almost like Mace is like a Democrat and wants more restrictions on things.
Oh God, no, I don't.
I'm not sure what the small arm thing is, but I did have a teacher that had one of the small arm thing. He said it was polio. So you know, I'm not sure if this is a genetic thing. That's just time.
There is proof that people can get hurt by radiation, but like
Chernobyl.
Well, Chernobyl, a lot of people were just burned initially, and that was probably from like just the vast amounts of radiation. But like, the radiation from one of those radium watches is less than the background radiation you'd receive just being alive. So I can't imagine that would increase your risk for cancer any significant amount.
Unless
but I was
factory dealing with it. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Well, the famous one with the paint factories is lead. I mean, plenty of people have died of lead poisoning.
Yeah, and you believe that because it was more recent, right?
What, lead?
Like just lead poisoning in general. The fact that
heavy metal poisoning is a real thing.
Yeah.
You know, we know that too many heavy metals in your body can hurt you. Mercury is the same thing.
Mm-hmm. A lot of fish, stuff like that. Yeah.
Asbestos is a big one. You have no idea how many fucking people's houses in this country are filled with asbestos right now, because we used asbestos with air conditioning. It was for the ducts and everything. It was like on the tape that would seal the ducts to the bends and stuff. Anyway, I'm not gonna get
living in a house that was built in the last 3 years. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, the regulations are so much better. Well, when I was doing HVAC, we would have to have an abatement company that would have to come in. So if we went to someone's house and was like, "Oh, you want us to do your ducts? Let's take a look." We'd poke our head in the attics and we would immediately come down like, "Yeah, we can't go up there. It's like hazardous to fucking breathe. Why are you even living here?" So we would have to call the abatement company. They would literally seal the fucking house down. Like, get all that shit bagged up inside the attic, and they had to take as few pieces apart as possible because you can't let that shit get airborne. Then they would have to take the shit out. Then they would have to like purify the air that was in the house that they sealed. And, like, it was a huge thing dealing with fucking asbestos, because once that shit's airborne, it's fucking bad.
Mm-hmm. So this is about the time where I thought Seymour would make like a big claim or something.
He already did. There's no such thing as radiation.
Lead ties to nuclear weapons. There are no nukes. There's no nuclear energy.
Wait, what? There's no nukes. So what about Little Boy and Fat Man?
Yeah, they're fake.
Come on, man.
Carbon bombing.
Come on, man.
We have video proof of multiple demonstrations of nuclear testing. Okay, we've seen visual proof of this shit getting fucked up. Okay.
Yeah, I've watched.
Oh my god.
And on that note, I have to go to bed.
All right, Princess, you take care.
You too. Bye.
You're too far.
Yeah, you got to look at when this stuff came out. As far as faking it goes, they weren't very good at faking it back then.
You're too far gone, dude.
Why would you say that, bro? What makes you think that? What makes you think you know anything about nukes?
I know that. I have people that I can
You
trust.
saw some shit on TV, like some scientist told you something?
No. My grandfather is probably the smartest man that you will ever meet if you end up meeting him. And I believe in what he says, and so
So he's a nuclear scientist. He knows what's real. He saw that shit on TV. He heard.
Not necessarily. He is a very smart man, and I am content with living my life trusting in that man. So
that's cool.
I finally today I was driving and I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, the one with Elon Musk.
The Joe Rogan podcasts.
Well, I was listening to the one with Elon Musk and it made me think of them more because he brought up flat Earth.
Yeah, I haven't gotten through the whole thing yet.
Okay.
But I like that I've watched the first hour. Elon's such a tool. What a douche.
Whoa! All right, we'll come back to that in just a moment. Hold on. Basically, what I got out of it was that Joe Rogan was basically sucking his dick the whole time. It felt like very softball. I guess his podcast is supposed to be designed rather chill and whatnot, but it wasn't like he came on and asked him anything.
Hard.
It just every question kind of seemed like a softball of a softball, it's the kind of questions that he gets asked. People ask him on Twitter. It's not it wasn't like anything tangible. But the thing that got me when they talked about flat Earth is that Joe Rogan was saying there's these people and he classified these people as stupid, unintelligent, and stuff. This was Joe Rogan. This wasn't Elon.
Yeah. He
went into this whole thing about these people that watch videos on YouTube and they believe this whole thing about the flat Earth. And I'm thinking the whole time, Themor's he might believe in flat Earth, but he's one of the fucking smartest guys I know. This is a guy that believes in flat Earth that will tell flat Earthers that they're fucking wrong because, it's not just believing in something. If you're going to believe in something, you have to have some sort of validation for it. Themor, it's your idea for the flat Earth is fucking stupid. It's fucking bonkers, okay? You obviously need to go back to the drawing board. That's what I respect about him. I may not agree with the notion of the flat Earth, but at least he at least tries to add something tangible to the conversation. And that's where I felt like there are some times where some people on YouTube I'll watch and I have a lot of respect for them, but then they say some ignorant shit like classifying all flat earthers as stupid. Whereas I can say that one of the smartest individuals I've met, thanks to the internet, is a flat earther, and I'm proud of that.
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, Joe Rogan is trying to raise awareness of it, regardless of how he puts it. You know, he's acting. You know, he's doing a show. It's in the context of a show. So, you know, for entertainment purposes, right? Everybody's aware of that. So Rogan's actually dropping a truth bomb there and making emphasis, like he's getting people to emotionally react. So it sort of sticks out in their head. Like he keeps bringing it up. His best friend is fucking a flat earther. Like his best friend for his whole life is a flat earther. You think he's talking about Eddie Bravo like that? I mean, is that who he's talking about? Like they're fucking stupid. They're idiots. Blah, blah, blah. He knows Eddie Bravo's a fucking genius, you know, he's a self-made man. He's got his own fucking studios. He's, you know, beat Gracie in the ring and fucking, you know, he's a legend. You know, this guy's fucking really, you know, he's legit. So yeah, you know, whether you recognize it or not, Rogan's, you know, trying to do his best to get it on the show in any context whatsoever, even if it's just those fucking people are nuts and they're crazy, blah, blah, blah. Just to trigger us flat earthers to even pay attention to him too. It's like fucking Joe Rogan, man. You know, we'll get another douchebag that comes in and just, you know, starts,
so,
you're fucking crazy.
Hold on. So, you watched the first hour of it, and your takeaway is that Elon Musk is fucking douchebag, I believe you said.
Like,
Why?
Joe had to, so what you were talking about with the softball questions, you know, basically what Joe was doing was, like, being agreeable. Like, so, you know.
That's what you're supposed to do in conversations. I mean, I disagree with, like, almost everything you said about the whole radiation thing, but then I was trying to be at least agreeable. Like, his show is about a conversation. It's not like I'm gonna sit down and try to make you say something.
Well, what you recognize is Elon is not capable of conversation, and Joe had to carry the conversation. That's obvious, right? I mean,
well, that's one thing I took away is that Elon, like, if there was an answer that he had to say, like, he would go long-winded with it. But there's a lot of times where, you know, he would be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Like some of Elon's retorts were rather lackluster after a while.
Exactly.
But
there was no conversation. Really. It was just like, you have something to say about this? Well, no. Very, you know, thoughtful in his responses, so to speak. It felt very controlled. But yeah, you know, I thought the first take was one of the first things Joe Rogan brought up was the flamethrowers, and fucking Elon is just sitting there going that he loves Spaceballs. I'm like, yeah. Spaceballs, really? Oh yeah, okay. Mocking space, awesome. And then basically going into explaining how he's mocking people with, you know, I decided that you know, we'd make $1 million. You know, we sold a bunch of hats. I said, okay, 10 million, and you know, what are we gonna sell? Flamethrowers. You know, just total mockery of people. Like, they'll buy it just because, right? That's basically what he said. That's why, because I knew that people would buy them. That's why I put them up there for sale. You know. Not because, you know, it's smart. I told him not to, you know, mocking me in that one. I told him not to buy them. Why would anybody buy a flamethrower? There's no.
Check this out. Right? Speaking of these fucking hats, I saw a boring hat. I didn't put no mind to it. Okay, it was one of those things that you're dicking around. You're looking at Goodwill. I saw a boring hat at Goodwill. Paid no mind to it. It looked crisp. It looked like someone bought it and then it probably accidentally threw it in with their donations or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was at Goodwill. I saw it one day, didn't think nothing of it, and then because I usually go there once a week to look at, you know, different shirts and whatnot. Yeah. And then I looked at it again. It wasn't there. And then especially after listening to the podcast and hearing about there wasn't that many of them made, I'm like, oh fuck, dude, I could have fucking picked that shit up for like the $10 at Goodwill and been on it, man. I could have been selling that shit, but no.
So yeah, you know, the whole I'm a genius, you know. So you know, I hear you're digging a hole under LA. Yeah, I you know, dug a hole in my parking lot. So you didn't have to talk to anybody, or did you? No, just dug a hole. You know?
Yeah, we got our permit. We made a pit. That's where we started. We made the pit. We brought some buddies over, showed them the pit. This is what's going to start off our tunnel, and then we went from there.
So you're allowed to dig underneath everybody's houses in the city and the foundations, you know? And...
Yep.
Well, no, he didn't go into it. Obviously, the tunnel part
Sure,
is
why not?
It's in collaboration with the city, but he didn't get into all the nitty gritty, you know. Over the
He's a mile in, dude. We didn't like have some groundbreaking ceremony. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I mean,
are you saying the hole doesn't exist?
I'm highly skeptical of this fucking underground tunnel. Like,
okay, I can vouch for two things. One, I have physically, with my own eyes, in person, I've seen the Hyperloop. I think it's garbage. I have personally seen the entrance area to where they're digging this fucking tunnel. I've seen it. Once again, I think it's garbage. I think it's cool that he's trying new ideas and shit. I can say that these things physically exist. I'm not on board with them. You know, like even in the thing, he said like, oh, we'll try it. We'll see if it works. You know, he talked about how you could do a lot to help with congestion of traffic, but we'll see. You know, he didn't even in the podcast, he didn't really specifically come out and say, oh, this is gonna verbatim, it's gonna solve it all. He's like, no, that's hopefully it does. I mean, we'll dig the hole and see what happens with it.
I mean, like, that's the one thing that Elon Musk is, like, he doesn't have to explain himself. Like, at this point, he is the brand. Like, there's a reason why that...
He's a Kardashian, basically.
Yeah, he kind of is. I mean, like, he does still do a lot. He does do a lot of press stuff. Like, at the end of the day, he is his brand, and that there is a reason that he, like, his stock took a fall after he smoked pot on the Joe Rogan show.
Oh, you know what? Since we're talking about Elon Musk, I saw a video on YouTube probably about like a few months ago, but it was Elon Musk having cameos in movies. And I didn't realize this, but he's had like little cameos in major films for like the last 10, 12 years or so. Like, and it blew my mind. Like, he was in the first two Iron Mans, had a small cameo in both of them. And like a lot of these things happen like, and it's like, what's the point of him having a cameo to begin with? Like, why is he in these movies? And this is back before SpaceX. This is back before Boring. This is like when he was. This is like the in between PayPal, in between selling PayPal and starting up Solar City thing. You know, like this is a weird era for him to be like, why is this guy, who today is this big famous dude, but looking at it from the lens of that point in time, why is this guy, this wealthy dude? Yeah, but what's the point of him having a cameo in a major motion picture? That's something. Rich. Just because he's rich?
Yep.
I think both Facebook and PayPal were government operations. I don't think that either one of those was something that Zuckerberg or Elon founded. They were given that role, so to speak.
I would disagree with the PayPal thing. But with the whole just Facebook, because you have a decent point that it's possible, but I wouldn't say.
Well, yeah, you're right though. The Facebook thing, you could argue the fact that the only reason why Mark Zuckerberg was like had that little interview.
Who invented Google?
Skynet.
Exactly. Corporations develop this stuff is basically the idea.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have to go. Fake wife needs her Diet Coke, so I'm going to go out and get it for her. Thamworth, as always, thank you for coming on. We will pick this up again, so I'm gonna leave a note. I do want to go dive deeper down. I do have some stuff to say about this. So next time we're on, we're definitely going to talk about this deep thread of Facebook and its interconnectivity with the U.S. government, because there's some shit there there's some dots that can be connected pretty directly. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Oh, and True Round, as always, bud. I know you're busy, but thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule for jumping on.
Yeah, I mean, it's the
good to see you again, man.
Thank you.
All right, you guys take care.
Fake nukes, look into it.
Later.
Later.
And as always, where's Streamlabs? Thank you guys so much for dropping by. Leave a follow. Check out the Facebook page. Oh, thank you for smoking. Oh, yeah, that was actually a funny movie. Sorry about the checking YouTube comments. I totally forgot about it. I should have been. I probably should just keep it a Twitch only thing, because every time I stream, I only get probably 1 or 2. No, I got to keep it with YouTube, because Thomas watches. Oh, fuck, that's right. I didn't have it up. Thomas, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. Discord was in front, and I forgot to click Facebook back. Totally bypassed it, or YouTube back. Anyway, you guys, as always, Yoso Glorious Beloved Mace Valor. Join us next time. Probably not tomorrow, but in the next couple days, we'll get back at it. Okay. As always, signing off.